I grew up here. I'm a woman. I'm a gay woman. My mom's a Jew. My dad's an Arab. I have a black kid. And believe it or not, my son is half Latin, even though he doesn't look like it. I hold a million cards in your game of woke victimology poker. And when I leave California, maybe you've lost your mind.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. As you can see in the title and in the thumbnail and in that little clip you just seen, we're gonna watch this sit down with Jillian Michaels and Stage Steele, where they're gonna talk about the woke policies of California. Even liberals that have, a gazillion infinity stones of wokeness are starting to leave California for its deranged policies. So we're gonna watch this quick little clip from this interview, and then we'll read the comments. So make sure you guys stay to the end.
I grew up here. I'm a woman. I'm a gay woman. My mom's a Jew. My dad's an Arab. I have a black kid. And believe it or not, my son is half Latin, even though he doesn't look like it. I hold a million cards in your game of woke victimology poker. And when I leave California, maybe you've lost your mind. Just maybe. Like, when you have me running from home, maybe it's gone way too far.
See, this is what I don't like, and this is what I don't appreciate, is that why don't you just stay and vote differently? Why don't you, all of you Californians, just stay where you're at and vote differently? I don't, that concept of you leaving your state to go somewhere else and possibly vote the same way that you've been voting just does not make any sense. That's why you hear people that live in Texas say, "Don't California my Texas." It's cool that you come here, but don't vote like the way you've been voting in California and ruin our state and then run somewhere else. It's actually cowardly that you just decide to up and leave after you ruined your own state and go somewhere else. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. I would never leave Texas. And it doesn't matter how progressive they get. I would never leave Texas. I'm gonna fight for Texas to get back to its original roots and vote differently and try to convince others to vote differently. You should be out there becoming an activist at that point. If you're having to leave your states, it's better for you to become an activist and actually go help campaign Republicans or conservatives to help them win, especially with people like Jillian Michaels who have a platform. And that's the worst part about it, is that most of these Californians that are leaving the state are people that, one, can afford to leave and are most likely business owners, successful individuals who have money. And so they could use their platform, they could use their money to help vote differently and convince others to vote differently, but they decide to leave everybody that's in the middle class, that's poor, to deal with the consequences of it. It's absolutely ass backwards in my opinion. But let's keep going.
Like, what was it?
My God,
I guess
girl, there's not
you.
enough time. And I actually take this line from Bill and Elon Musk, and they're like, I actually haven't changed.
Yes.
The world around me is shifting, and I haven't moved. So some of these laws that are passing here are absolutely fucking mind-boggling.
See, and if I was the
to
interviewer, every time these leftists or progressives or these liberals that are leaving California say this stuff, ask them, who did you vote for? That should be like the number one question. Who did you vote for? And did you actually get and receive the consequences of your vote? And if you did, we should have no empathy whatsoever. We should not feel bad for people that voted. I don't feel bad for Biden voters when they complain about the economy, when they complain about the border, when they complain about crime, when they complain about the cost of goods and services. I'm automatically asking, who did you vote for? Who did you vote for 4 years ago? And if you tell me Biden, I'm going to literally tell you, hey, you asked for it. You voted for it. You got it. So deal with it. Change your vote next time and deal with it. It's your fault. So Any of these interviewers that are going to interview people like Jillian Michaels that are leaving California, or anybody that left California, who did you vote for? Matter of fact, I wish this was possible, but it's probably not. If you voted for Gavin or the politician that's there and that's ruined the state, if you voted for that person, you can't leave. Matter of fact, it should be a law that you're not allowed to leave until the regime changes. Hey, it sounds a little authoritarian, but hey, you asked for it, so you should have to deal with it. It should not be the people that didn't vote for it. They should be the first ones to get first dibs to be able to get out of the state. But most of the people that are leaving are people that can afford it, so that's why they're doing it. But no, if you voted for this, you gotta stay your ass there until you get a new governor or a new whatever. Hilarious.
Crime, protecting our kids. Like, we're decriminalizing everything, which arguably I would probably be okay with, but we're not regulating any of it.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you're going to decriminalize sex work, but only so women can legally loiter on the streets. Like, not to keep them safe, not to have them pay taxes, not to make them, regularly check for STDs, not to take away the pimps out of the equation. It's the like, if you made that argument to me, I'd be like, well, yes, we want, of course. I mean, I could be liberal. I could go there with you. But I grew up this way. But when it's like, oh, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pass a law for LGBTQ rights so that 24-year-old men can sleep with 14-year-old boys and not have to register as a sex offender because it's just not fair to the gays. I'm like, what? It's what? Like, I don't know if you saw that one. That was like, I think early 2020 when they passed that law. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, if a 24-year-old man touches my 14-year-old son, I will get a gun and take matters into my own hands.
Yes.
Like, are you kidding? Or the fact that a 12-year-old child can be put on off-label cancer drugs to irreparably change their body. Again, if my son came to me and said, Mom, my daughter, I think I'm trans, I'd say, okay, like, you want to dress this way? You want me to call you whatever the heck you want me to dress? Fine. Explore it. I love you. I'm cool. Like, do you, as long as we're safe. But we're not changing your body until it's fully developed. I'm sorry. Conversation's over. Can't get a tattoo.
Exactly.
Are you crazy? It's insane. Like, I just can't. It's madness. It's madness to me. I could go on and on and on, and it's madness. I don't know what's going on here.
The only word that I've been able to come up with in thinking about it and reading about it and tweeting about it and saying, don't tweet that, and all of it is evil. Maybe it depends on your belief system, right? But to me, there's no other explanation because it doesn't make sense.
100%.
It's not good, it's not healthy, it's not
I can tell you. I actually have an answer for you. Hold on. Let me play this one out for you. Okay, so here's the problem. I'm gay, so I get a card, and I can say what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know. I have a letter in your acronym, so sit down. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
I'm allowed to say, this is batshit.
Mm-hmm.
No. A straight person who might turn around and be like, this seems really crazy. Transphobe.
Oh, I'm a transphobe, according to Megan Rapinoe.
Okay.
Yes, she has literally called me that because of the transgender sports issue, which has science behind it. But because I said, let's say women's sports,
behind it,
then I'm a transphobe.
Sports
so go.
is biological.
And it's beautiful that way, by the way.
The thing of it is, you can transition. Absolutely. You can change your hormones 100%. But if you look at someone like Fallon Fox, for example, who was an MMA fighter, right? Since I believe has since retired or is currently retired. I don't believe Fallon Fox transitioned until well into adulthood and was literally cracking skulls. I know. I'm not exaggerating. So at the end of the day, when you have decades of androgenic hormones and you're biologically a man, you're going to have more muscle, improved bone density, better height, greater reach. There's a reason that it's like, oh, so-and-so just won the swimming thing. Oh, and the boxing thing. Oh, and the biking thing. Oh, and the powerlifting thing. I mean, again, and where people struggle is that it isn't fair, and we love black and white. It has to be
Yes.
all good or all bad, and it isn't fair to somebody. Somebody isn't going to win here. So the issue is trans athletes have nowhere to play because there's not enough of them to have a league, right? And then you've got the millions of women that can't compete. So
Sounds like a
someone's gonna get
personal
screwed,
problem.
and no one knows what to do with it. And then if you say, okay, no, this isn't fair, you're transphobic. And that's how every conversation is systematically shut down. And you really also have to look at who's behind it and why.
Well, that's a very, very
Look
deep
at
issue.
the pharmaceutical industry
Right.
and how much they're making on transitioning children.
Yeah.
And then they weaponize, I swear to God, and this is not, people love to say, oh, tin hat, Jillian claims, Jillian assumes. I do none of that. Do your own homework. I ask you to do your own homework, not to believe me, but to do your own homework. So they weaponize these civil rights groups, like the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, I think it is. And these guys will then go out and give you, what is it, a health equity and inclusion? I think it's like an HEI score, but don't quote me on the score, but you get a score, right? And if hospitals are willing to transition children to get behind it, then you get a low score. It's
The way
really
that they're
diabolical.
incentivizing people to say, yes, 12-year-old, go ahead and make this decision.
And if you don't,
yeah,
you then get labeled
well, and even the financial aspect, which, I mean, when I go back
billions of dollars.
to the COVID years, the beginning of COVID.
Yeah, so there you have it, guys. That's the gist of the clip there. We don't want to go any further. I think that was really the end of it. Let's go read some of the comments real quick. But, I mean, she's absolutely right. But the worst part about it is that these liberals will not understand and see the consequences of their actions until they actually have to face them. And that's a problem. And the second point that she made is that the conversation gets shut down because these leftists are always resorting to ad hominems. They're always resorting to personal attacks, and that's why this will never get in anywhere or have any progress. Is they don't want to have an honest debate. They don't want to have an honest conversation. But let's read some of these comments. So somebody says it's satanic. Call it what it is. It's 100% satanic. Everything that the left and the Democrats push for is nothing but lies, destruction, and deception, which is the gameplay of the devil, and that's all that it is. They want to kill children in the womb. They want to transition kids and ruin their reproductive future. I mean, it's really a bunch of nonsense. Next comment says, when the red pill is on your tongue, but you refuse to swallow. Millions and millions of people are coming to the same world, evil. To the same word, evil. Even non-religious types. Next comment says, I hope she doesn't vote the same in Florida as she did in California. Facts. Next comment says, thank goodness for ladies like yourself standing up and telling it like it is. Time to end the madness. The bell curve is on the up. Yeah. I just hate that it takes so much for these liberals to see, the consequences of what they've advocated for. This comment says, I'm a gay man in London, first of all, love Sage. No children are not able to state that they are in the wrong body or feel they are trans. I just feel this whole situation as corrupted children. The leading UK trans clinic has been closed down with a damning report. Children who were on the autism spectrum were given puberty blockers after 2 visits. I do not believe that anyone should be offered gender reassignment until they are at least 21 and have had 2 years of psychotherapy. I thought the UK were bad, but God, California, they are completely nuts. I did say that once you open the door to children making decisions about gender, you then have opened the door for pedos. You should have Helen Joyce, who wrote the book When Trans Ideology Meets Reality. Great speaker. Yeah, this is 100% accurate. And this line right here is what should stand out to people. Children who were on the autism spectrum were given puberty blockers after 2 years. What does that scream to you guys? What does that scream to you? They don't want them to reproduce. They're trying to do a selective breeding type of situation here. Hilarious and sad at the same time. Not really hilarious. This is really sad. This is really tragic. And people are falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. And you have even parents that are signing up kids to go through the same nonsense here. But hey, some people are waking up in California. Just don't bring that nonsense politics and your voting pattern to these great red states like Florida and Texas. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about the video in the comment section. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button. Of course, if you want more content, subscribe to the channel. See you guys on the next one. Peace.